region. What I'd like to do is now share a case study from Kathmandu as a way of highlighting the importance of markets and vendors and the role that they can play in a disaster. So just to give you a little bit of context, this map shows you the permanent markets that are located in Kathmandu, along with the 400-meter walking radius around them. So that's about a 5-minute walk. The picture itself is actually of a permanent market, and that's a permanent market that's located between Tamil, which is a main tourist area, and a Durbar Square, which is also a really important site in Kathmandu for both tourists as well as residents. And you'll see here that there's lots of places within the city where people would not have direct walkable access to a permanent market. However, when you add all of the types of markets that are in Kathmandu, so that includes the morning evening markets, which are considered more temporary, as well as the mobile vendors, you'll see that there's much more access. So what this is illustrating kind of goes back to our session last week, where it's the typology and the different types of markets give you the full picture of what's actually happening in a city. But what I really want to do is highlight what's happening what was happening in Kathmandu shortly after the earthquake. So this is a picture that I took in June of 2015. The earthquake was in April. Many of you may remember that. It killed almost 9,000 people. It injured more than 21,000, and 3.5 million people were homeless as a result. And so this is a picture shortly thereafter. The second set of pictures shows the before of the Durbar Square that I was mentioning earlier, and the after. And so I'm showing you this picture to give you a little bit of context, because I'm going to be playing a video from Kamana, who worked for Resource Center for Primary Healthcare. I interviewed her in June of 2015, shortly after the earthquake. And this is the Durbar Square that her and her family, along with many other people in this area, went to immediately in the aftermath of the earthquake. So the earthquake hit, and this is where her family went. This area became overcrowded at the time, and so she ended up moving to a different space nearby. And in the interview, she's going to explain to you the role that the mobile vendors played in the immediate aftermath of the earthquake. So please play the video.
The whole family were together, and in my family there are 9 members, so we were all together Saturday afternoon, and they just waited and hoped that this will be soon go away or something like that. And meanwhile, we had food vendors visiting a lot of open spaces at that time. So they were serving fruits, some were serving hot beverages, fruits like watermelon and cucumber. And most of the families bought from them, and since we're quite hungry at that time, so the only source of nourishment were provided by those food vendors, mobile food vendors, and because we couldn't go back to our home, it was too risky. And then the price of the food was not that high too.
Right, so they didn't take advantage because people were
they did not took any advantage. Rather, they were generous to let discount us even.
Yeah, and maybe if somebody didn't have their purse with them, then
they will discount it. And then we stayed in that particular ground till 11.
Right.